Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Concrete Reality TV. This episode topic is on a small word with an incredibly complex meaning. It is the common basis which many civilizations have been built upon, but it's also the venom that causes division and hate between mankind. I'm speaking about belief. So let's get ready to have some great dialogue and dive into this topic. Hey, let's bring in the rest of our panel. Yo, Cutter, what's up, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Amongst those who know better, so we do better. So you already know what it is, man. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We missing Gillum. He running late, so once he gets in, we'll bring him on in. But we do have some special guests that will be joining us on this show. So they're gonna give us a wider perspective on this topic. We got Minister Kevin Brown out of the great state of Maryland. How you doing, Kevin? What's going on?
I'm doing well, but one correction: instead of a minister, I'm just a deacon.
Just a deacon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Reverend Phil out of H-Town. Phil, what's going on, man? Can we call you Reverend?
It's available, man. But I answer the field. But I understand. You know what I'm saying. But no, I'm grateful to be here, man. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Man, thanks for coming. We appreciate you guys for coming and joining us, man. Really do. Oh, it looks like we got Gillum. Gillum, what's happening, man? You all right? I mean,
I'm fine. I had a cigar party tonight at the place during the football game, so I'm good. It's just football. I don't care about that mess. Ain't nothing to do with it.
You sure?
I don't. Wait a minute. Okay? How we go straight negative?
Huh?
What's going on? All right. You know, we good, man. It's say. I stated earlier, man, and I know we're going to go right into it, but there could be no history books without the 49ers, but there could be no NFL without the Cowboys. So,
hey, man.
No, it was a good game. You know, Dak Prescott just showed up. I want my change back. He got $72 million. I need change back. He paid like he was a $7 quarterback today because he had a chance to win the game. You know.
That is so open to what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, huh?
That says he is a $7 quarterback.
Okay.
Well, he played like a $7 quarterback today.
So we're not gonna dig you too much on this, but let's go ahead and start this thing off. So our topic today, like I started off with is belief. I was going to start with a working definition so we can kind of touch on that, and then we can kind of go for it after that. So let's check out what belief is. I'm going to play a clip from a episode that I did that introduced our segment on religion, racism, and relationships, and we'll go from there. So belief is a late 12th century word. It's a noun. Belief is confidence reposed in a person or thing, faith in a religion. Let's look up Webster's. Webster's dictionary has some good ones. A persuasion of the truth or an assent of mind to the truth of a declaration, proposition, or alleged fact on the ground of evidence distinct from personal knowledge, as the belief of the gospel, belief of a witness. Belief may also be founded on internal impressions or arguments and reasons furnished by our own minds, as the belief of our senses. A train of reasoning may result in belief. Belief is opposed to knowledge and science. All right, so that's our working established definition. I was going to start off to see what you guys' thoughts were on the actual meaning of the word, because I know it's a lot of information in that one little single word called belief. But I guess we can start with our guest. Phil, what are your thoughts on the word belief?
Well, belief, I think you gave a great definition to it, man. I like the way Webster and others depict it.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way that it talks about two key words in that thing, which is it deals with persuasion and truth.
Mm-hmm.
So your ability to persuade or invoke thought into someone to change their thinking towards something you can prove to be true, which one kind of goes with the other. But belief and that in a sense causes you to act. So I would kind of dumb it down and say that belief is an acceptance of a statement that exists to be true. And so with understanding that piece, you had a foundation of what would cause others to kind of hop on that bandwagon.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, you got anything to piggyback off of that?
Nah, I think he explained it pretty well. Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. I mean, it's understandable to me. I put it to you that way because, as he was explaining it, my belief can encourage you to believe the same thing, or at most, it would at least give you a chance to state what yours is if you have a different belief. So, yeah, I think he did a very good job.
Fellas, I'm going to jump on Cutter. I know we've talked about this quite a few times. What are your thoughts on the word belief?
I think you pretty much explained it by giving the definition. My thoughts, I actually would rather discuss them throughout the episode.
Okay.
So I'm ready to jump it off, man.
Okay. Gillum, you got anything to jump on with that?
No, I think you did a great job with the definition. And, like we had this conversation millions of times. So I'm with Cutter. Let's get in it.
All right. So moving on with this word belief, let's dive into some sort of narrative. How does a person's assent of mind play into their interaction with society?
Well, it depicts on, I think beliefs comes from a lot of places, especially how you grew up, how your family, your family background, those kind of things depict on your belief on what you believe and what you think is real and what you don't know is not real. So I think that how you get to the certain point of what you believe and what you don't believe is all about, your family background and how you was raised. That's just my opinion.
I think it's our ability to really trust ourselves to hold whatever truths to be self-evident. You know what I mean? So for example, if we hold a truth that something or someone will move us forward, we have to create that balance between how much do I move or how much do I rely on that thing to move me. And so belief it's a real deep thing, but it's a real personal thing, which is what we're talking about, which sometimes in society we want to make it depict on more of a either or thing, when really the truth of it is a both and type scenario.
Kevin, you think anything different from that with this in society? How does it play into society?
Not so much different, but I think adding to that would be more or less, if I can come to you with more conviction in my belief, sometimes I can sway you, or even the other way. If you have more conviction and you come to me with something you believe in, and I see more from your perspective, it kind of makes me want to go in that direction. I mean, like you said in the beginning, most churches and societies were built on that in the first place. It's the conviction and the belief.
First thing I guess I think of with society, I guess would probably be with people in general, with race, concept of race, concept of racism, that whole issue of how people are coming together based off of these common ideas. Because what came to my mind was, just politics, how everybody joins in on these ideas, but they don't have any actual tangible connection. It's a common idea of what they're agreeing to. And then they use that to either, I guess, call themselves a fork or a spoon. But we know they're not forks or spoons, but they're actually individual groups that are referencing themselves as if they're on different teams. And the scary part is it it seems like those teams, they're supposed to be something just fictitious, but they end up turning into something more than that, and actually becomes the character of the person, and they end up making this a part of their lives as if they were born with it. And I guess that's the scary part about how a sin of mind, which belief goes into, when you can take something from idea form and then put it into something tangible without ever making it true. So that's kind of what I thought about.
I would agree. I would take it into even filmmaking, for instance. Let's go scary movies. Scary movies, for instance. Wes Craven has some. I think that I forget what series he made, but was it Freddy Krueger? Was that Wes Craven?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think so.
But it started as an idea. Of course, you write scripts and stuff like that, and who knows where he thought of this character, Freddy Krueger, that attacks people in their dreams. But when you bring it to cinema, you have people who actually believe Freddy Krueger really exists, even though he's made up. But the fact that you can see and hear this character, and he's visually captured your mind, the storyline included, you walk away from that film, going to bed scared to go to sleep, simply because you saw a movie that is not, it's fictional. But in your mind, and the fact that you actually saw this made it believable. Like it could actually exist. Like, oh man, I believe Freddy Krueger is real. And you could actually walk away telling people, hey, yeah, it's this guy that attacks you in your dreams. and you know, depending on how vivid you make it seem or sound, you can actually have other people believe, who've never seen the movie before in their life, but you can actually have other people believing that he truly exists, though he's a fictional character from Wes Craven's mind, or whoever wrote Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. Just
wow. I mean, I can I jump in right quick, E?
Go ahead.
Definitely, go ahead.
I think that's beautiful, want to ask Cutter is that, do you think, because I was scared after the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Me too.
but I don't know if I would have been so terrified if it didn't sell 100 million tickets, right? I don't know it, because it was in our face when, you have some where if the comments that would come after, now we have social media, and it come up and it says, come and look at this horrible B movie. So you walk into it with an extra line of defense up, right? And you're expecting to not believe it. And so I think it can work both ways. And so, but I think that Nightmare on Elm Street was a great example, man.
Gillum, I know you had another comment right before I spoke. What did you have on that?
No, I was about to ask you a question, because you said that, you could make something that you believe in is the truth. What is the truth, Mr. Professor?
Well, I did a episode on this as well. Basically, the truth is what you make it, because it's the most accurate depiction of what you know or believe. So whatever you in your life or your mind propose as the truth is considered the truth, but you also have to have a reference point for others to come to analyze, use as a measuring stick. Because if we just use your idea with this, which is in your mind, as the basis for the truth, then you'll be the only one that holds that truth, which happens in a lot of what we're discussing now, which is belief. But then you have an issue where it's no reference point. There's no measuring guideline, no threshold to hold anybody accountable to what they're claiming the truth is.
So in other words, it has to be something that's tangible, something that you can taste, smell, or see.
That's preferable, but it's not mandatory, as you can see, because we know how that goes.
I'm just asking questions.
With life.
I'm just asking questions, sir.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel the exact same way. Like it's what you make it. Like in science, you have this thing called evidence-based practices, which are things that
Yes.
are tested, tried, and true. But
Right.
you also have these
Not
things
necessarily.
called best practices. Best practices are things that are also believed to be true, but that can have no way of being science tested. And so I know that I'm watching the comments. That's hilarious. We jump straight to God, right? We haven't even scratched the surface about that piece. But the fact is that when we talk about the concept of belief, what I mean, we're talking about these things that cause us to act and move forward. Revolutions aren't made off something that's tangible. Revolutions are made off of something that can be or what is believed to be. You know what I'm saying? We see so and so did it, and so now I think I can do it. But yet the way I'm coming up with it is a way that I'm saying this has never been done before, but it was tried 100 years prior. You know what I mean? So it's these things that we hold to be true, man. I think this is awesome.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
you
you
just
know
said.
what?
The first thing I came to my mind was we hold these truths to be self-evident.
Self-evident.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that's the first thing I thought of. Because again, these are truths. Again, all these individual truths that unite and come together as a one common truth, accepted truth, and that becomes the working truth for the society. That's why we got government now. Governments all over the world, they have ideas that they use as a basis for the foundation of the country, and then that basis becomes what governs everyone else because it's
Right.
agreed upon. It's not
Yeah.
something tangible. It's something that we all like. Like right now, our creed could become a government based off of us five right now, and then if we had an army and and some sort of power and physical force, we can use that to enforce it onto others. But again, that's kind of where we're leaning.
Yeah, we can force our will on people.
That's hilarious.
And ain't got we got nothing, no proof whatsoever for what we're holding as self-evident. But hey,
But
If we can
when
get
you're in
enough
the-
going that way.
Well,
when
the
you in
United
a
States, United States of America do it all the time. So we good.
when you're in a position of power, and that's what I think that's what you were kind of going into. The person with the most power has the most influence, especially
Not
on
necessarily.
like societies. Huh?
I say not necessary, Cutter. If you got a bigger army, if I got a bigger army than you, I don't need no influence.
he said, if I got my army,
Yeah, I don't need
Nah,
no influence.
in actuality, I can use your army. I can use your army against you because I can label you a bunch of killers,
yeah,
and I can also say, yeah, I can also make my own army bigger than yours because I have the power of influence.
yeah.
I can
Yeah,
make your
okay.
own army hate you because I have the power of influence.
Well, we gonna kill you first. It ain't gonna happen. That's how the
Well, we got to get rid of him.
So, yeah. So as you can see, the reason why I'm glad that we're touching on this core is that most people think, soon as you talk about belief, he jumping on religion. It's about to be religion. No.
We ain't saying nothing about religion yet.
We ain't even said
Yeah.
nothing because it doesn't start with any kind of group. It starts with this. And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
We are not a religion. The religion is when our ideas come together to form it. You can't have a religion without the people. You got to have the people first. You can't have you got to have idea first, and then you got to get the people to agree to the idea, and then you have religion. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this because this is pretty much what I wanted to start establishing, so people can actually understand how belief works. It doesn't start with some sort of religious aspect. It starts with the human mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I'm sorry, bro. Kevin, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, as he was speaking to self-will, down through history, there's been a lot of people who, for whatever reason, were going in the wrong direction, but then they basically willed themselves to do better, to become better, or like in our lifetime, it's how you figure you made it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whether it was by the job you have, or by the company you started or whatever. So if you start off lowly and you're going in the wrong direction, or you start off of it as a stuttering child like the president, but he kept going until he was a person who could speak before people, and so it's still self-will. So on that part of what Ephraim was saying, I get that, but to make the leap from even a stuttering child or a poor person to a rich person, you have to have a lot of self-will. So again, it really wouldn't take a lot of different people to help with the self-will. It would just take you noticing that you have the power within you.
I think that's an amazing. So just to kind of give some context, and we asked, and I appreciate him saying that, bro. Kevin, what you saying is a very forward-thinking idea. You know what I'm saying? But you live in a very forward-thinking place. In the South is very different. You know what I'm saying? It does go according to the masses more so as opposed to maybe farther up north, where you have a more individual thought and it's seen as a idea of respect in that instance. And so I think that's even more so reason to to give respect to this show, man, for the broad idea and the panelists, because not only did you give a broad spectrum of ideas, but also where we are on this 48 state map as well, to give us, because as he was talking, I said, man, that's progressive. You know what I'm saying? I said, you come down here on I-10 East and 288, it might be a little different. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely read you on that.
Well, thank you. Because, with thinking about belief, and when I was invited on, Ephraim was telling me about it, I was kind of going around, what I actually thought about it and what popped into my mind. And I think someone said before, religion, we go straight to religion, but it's not always that. It's you have to have some belief in, well, we said the government, so let's look at that. You have to have some belief that.
Oh no! Oh man, let me bring him back in. He was Oh, there you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so you're on government.
Yeah, we actually going to be treated equally. I mean, not so much as to look at the history, because we already know what the history is, but reading those words from the preamble, and that we're all supposed to be one, we start looking at that as, well, if anything happens, the government got my back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work out that way all the time. But we're thinking it.
No, not at all.
Not
at all.
Right, but I mean, those words have been printed for how many years? I mean, they've been there, and it's a structure that we look at. Even as children, we're taught to pledge allegiance, and again, because we believe we are part of this union.
Yeah.
Now, as you grow older, you think different thoughts, you see reality of things, but it's still that self-will, that no matter what happens, you're going to be a part of the America, or the institution of America. You just believe that everything is equal for you as it is everybody else. And, I think that touches us almost as much as religion, simply because you're living this day to day. I mean, the Constitution really is a breathing thing. It fluctuates and it moves, but it grows. So I'm looking at it as being living. And in that thought, it's like, as long as we're believing that it can happen, it could be true, that I'm a good citizen. In that part of the belief, it's like, I really believe that the country's behind me, ... and I'm a good citizen, and I'm going to help the United States progress. But when you look at the beliefs that you're taught, which somebody also mentioned that, That's more of a to me, it's more of a fickle issue because depending on where you're from and how your parents raised you, you're taught quite a few things, and some of them you grab hold of, and some of them you just let go. So I guess the whole issue of belief does go rather wide, but it's also kind of narrow as it's personal.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm curious if we can take a step forward on this thing. Conversation about belief. Now, I mentioned before, in my episode that I did previously to introduce this segment, was conversation, having dialogue about this always seems, from my experience on the research with this thing, that it always seems to be on the borderline of chaos, confusion, and hatred. I haven't had too many conversations where it ended in a constructive manner where there was kind of respect on one side. It always seems like in the background, one person has an idea of what I'm speaking and regarding what I believe is the truth. So what I'm hearing you say is your belief, but it's not the truth. Mine is the truth because it comes from the correct belief. So that's what I guess my next question would be: how can you have conversations on this thing without it going haywire?
Well, I can tell you, don't talk about religion. Everybody be fine.
Well,
he said, "Don't talk about."
That's funny.
Don't bring up religion.
Don't bring it up.
I feel you have to be able to exercise critical thinking skills even for you to bring up this type of conversation.
Well, Cutter, you don't have no friends.
Well, if that was the case, I wouldn't know y'all.
And we love you, Cutter.
There's many of us who do exercise our critical thinking skills, but I think where it ends badly is when we attempt to have this conversation with closed-minded individuals.
And that's a lot of
people, or people who are so headstrong on what they believe that by you even questioning their belief is offensive to them.
But Cutter, I don't even think it's like questioning their belief. We're asking simple questions about what you believe, and is it tangible? And then people just get offended.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. By you even questioning what they believe is offensive. They take offense to that because it's a sensitive subject. Because think about it. Remember them Saturday mornings when we eating our cereal and about to watch our cartoons, and then we hear that knock at the door, and everybody start picking through the window.
Hey, Cutter, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm going now.
Come on, Cutter.
Because
you making it.
I love that. Y'all got to take that, man.
I'm gonna go there because we gonna go there because,
and you just gotta bring it up.
But it has a lot to do with the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
If if you open that door, that the people behind on the other side of that door are going to question your belief system. And not in a way that it makes it offensive, but you really don't want to hear nothing. How you doing today, sir? Is your mother home? No, she not here. Well, let me hand you this. We not allowed to take those. You making up all kinds of excuses just to get rid of them because you don't want what you understand to be correct or believe to be righteous to be questioned.
Cutter. That's it, man.
So you want to get them away from you.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? As quickly as possible. And that's what I mean by not exercising your critical thinking skills. Now, if somebody come knocking at my door as an adult at 44 with the knowledge that I possess, I hope you come knock at my door. Come on. I might invite you in for a cup of coffee because we're going to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that what you said,
mm-hmm.
the key thing that you said that was so important was that if you open that door, right?
Yeah.
And when you said that, I could just see that happening. And the thing is, when you start talking about being challenged in that instance, it speaks on, and even when you talk about those individuals that come knocking on your door, or whether you talk about those that post and do different things from different belief systems or whatever, you'll be the thing that gets you is their ability to listen. They're taught to listen. We're not really taught the art of listening. And so if we pay more attention to be when you talk about we talk about active listening, that means clearing our mind while somebody else is talking before we start processing our answer before they finish. That's a sign of defense. And that can promote all kind of energy and things. Next thing you know, we amp for no reason. You know what I'm saying? They're like, man, I was just asking you where your people home. I really wasn't here for you.
Mm-hmm. You know what Reverend Phil? I know we've been knowing each other for all our lives, but we'll call you Reverend Phil right now. You know what, Reverend Phil? I really appreciate you saying that, because what usually happens, if we having this conversation with anybody that's in a Christian organization, see, what happens is that they feel like we offending their grandma because their grandma walked with Jesus, their great grandma walked with Jesus, their great auntie and uncle and everybody else walked on water with Jesus, and they was there with the children of Israel when Moses opened the Red Sea and walked on dry land. So when you ask them kind of questions, you get a lot of defensive mechanisms fly up because they feel like you're offending their family. But that's not what we're doing. We just asking questions because we want to know what your mindset is. And we're trying to have these conversations because I think it's important that we have these conversations. Because not saying that, hey, we don't believe what you believe. We just questioning what you believe. We just asking questions. And the offense level is really high. The arguments that come about it is really ridiculous. All we're doing is asking questions. And if you ask somebody, you say, hey, tell me why you believe this. That question right there starts World War III. That's something.
and really, something as simple as the honest answer, right, is why do you believe what you believe? Say, because my mama believed it. Right.
That's what they say.
Right. And of course, like what Cutter said, as you get older, you develop your own thought process, right? And your own system and all of that.
You hope
right.
So.
Well, at some point you will. Now it can be morphed into whatever, but you will have something, even if you just grandfather some of those ideals over, you're gonna have that. But the idea is to be honest, and I know that we picking on, like, for example, we picking on Christianity in this sense because of the demographic on the panel. But the truth is, can you imagine being in a Christian society and be Muslim or be Hindu or be Buddhist and be ridiculed for how you were raised? That's a and yet want them to be calm and civilized, and be okay with being ridiculed. That's the kind of thing that I think that this conversation promotes. It promotes compassion, empathy toward other people, and appreciating their upbringing and what they're going through, and truly believing that everybody have a life journey, man.
But you know what? The thing I have a problem with is Christianity says this. I know that's on the belief system. People grow up in different societies. You cannot tell me just because these people don't believe what you believe, they're going to hell. That's arrogant as hell. They grew up in a whole different country. They got a whole different belief system than you do. You can't tell me the God they serve and the God you serve can't be the same God. Just because you don't believe the same principles, it does not mean they going to hell. I think that's arrogant. I think that's arrogant as hell.
Now,
That's
Gillum,
just me.
I wanna, that's part of the next segment.
He's
That's part of
shooting
the.
over.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Because I hear what he's saying. Because you got Christians that don't agree.
Yeah,
Like,
that's.
Whoa.
But wait, fellas, we're gonna touch on that because that's part of the next part of the topic.
Right.
We're definitely gonna jump on the religion part, that kind of doctrine part, because what Gillum just said. So we're gonna put a pin in that one because I want to kind of put it.
I was ready, dog. I had my
Yeah, you sitting there. Yeah, that's why you got that jersey. You got the best Julius Jones jersey I've ever seen.
Julius. But we gonna touch on that because, like I said, that's the next one actually coming up. But I wanted to put closure on the whole dialogue with the word belief. You know, the working definition that we're going with, which is great. And then we'll come back and circle around to what you jumped on with that, Gillum, because that's definitely gonna follow into the next part.
I apologize.
He said, "Oh yeah, but
that's what happened when we all able to have the teachers edition."
Yeah.
You're jumping the gun, 21. You're jumping the gun.
So we talked about this topic, trying to have the dialogue. I know we can have it, you know, in anger. That's usually when it comes up. Typically, this topic of belief comes up in anger versus having a productive dialogue where all parties respect the beliefs of others. And I know that sounds, you know, in theory, sounds like it's possible.
It sounds good.
But in reality, it's so close to the core of who we are as people, it's hard to do. Is there a way that, because even with this, like right now, people did not want to have this topic discussed. It's either you're going to discuss if you believe a doctrine or you're going to discuss how you hate it. It's never like, what is human idea and belief? What is that thing? Because once you bypass that, it erases all of the doctrine, it erases all of the politics, and it sticks it right inside of your core confidence, whatever that thing is. And people like, no, because then we all even. That means we're all going to be on the same playing field if we take away the doctrine, the history, the wins, the military victories, the government. Let's strip it down to who you are as a person and what that thing is, and then it's like you're just. So you
tell me when I can go.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Go ahead, Gillum. What you got on that one?
I mean, look. I'm not trying to make this a religious thing. I just realized that we are all people at the end of the day. We all have different beliefs because we grew up all different ways, and I think it's really at the point that we have to understand each other. I think right now we're getting a really good look at each other right now, how America is. We're getting a real clear look at how people believe, what they say, how they act. We're getting a real good look at each other. And I think it's a good thing. So when are we going to realize that we all, if you cut me, I still bleed red just like you. Yeah. And I'm just a person just like you. I just have different beliefs and different culture just like you. When are we going to start looking at each other's culture and appreciate who we are as people? I think like every culture has something rich that we can learn from. You know, I've been all over the world. I travel a lot. You know, I just left third world countries. I just left a couple other places, and their belief system is different from ours. You know, and I think it's very, very arrogant not to learn something from cultures so you can actually grow from it. I believe that if we grow every day, we learn something from every different cultures, that we'll love each other a little bit better. And love is an abstract word too as well. We won't talk about that right now.
That'd be one of the other topics.
That's the whole other topic.
Yeah.
You know, where I would say we appreciate each other a little bit more if we understand each other's culture. We take a good look at each other. You know, because your neighbor ain't no different than you. They go to work every day. They try to pay their bills. They want their kids to be successful. They want their kids to have great lives. They believe the same thing as you. They want the same thing for their family as you. Success. So I don't understand why we feel like we gotta belittle another culture or belittle another person with what they believe to make ourselves feel bigger. That's all I'm saying. Back to my cigar.
What you got, Phil? It looked like you definitely had something to touch on that.
Well, I appreciated hearing Gillum spread that. That it's so true. The truth is that we do take from every culture. Every culture is a piece of every culture. The challenge is admitting that you get it from another culture.
Yes.
So when we start speaking about, I mean that's the whole problem with hip hop, right? You know what I mean? Like who was the first to originate hip hop the way it stands? So when we start talking about that, the thing is to pay homage, you know what I mean, to who it came from. And not think that because you're paying homage to something that was here 10,000 years before you, that belittles or negates your belief.
I like that, Phil. That's good.
Well, that has a lot to do. That has a lot to do with ego, and we seem to forget sometimes that we are born Americans, and in American society, ego, arrogance, all that stuff is. It's second
American.
nature. It's second nature to us. So it's no question as to why we feel like whatever you believe is the only belief, and anybody else that don't believe what you believe is going to hell or wherever that is, or whatever afterlife they feel like you're supposed to go to. The level of ego for a lot of people is more important than being correct. For instance, Phil, you mentioned when you were talking about how people get something from another culture. Well, our ego steps in the way of appreciating what they brought to the table. We want to be number one. We want to be the first and the only. Oh, well, I'm going to take what he did and I'm going to just put my spin on it and I'm going to make it mine and I'm going to put it out.
Ain't that the American way?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to put it out. And look, who did this first? Me. I did it first. Anybody who did it after me bit off of me. And I want my publishing.
You ain't gonna get that cut.
I want my publishing.
Hey, Cutter.
I want my publishing rights because I said it first. I got a copy written. I wrote it in this book in 1973, and he took what I did and he did it another way. And I want my publishing. I'm suing you because I did this first. I did me. That's what America is.
And if that's the case, I'm suing Ephraim right now.
Saying I stole some of your stuff.
You stole some stuff. It's okay though. I know I can't prove it.
If you ain't got it if you didn't write it down or record it, it
don't exist.
It don't exist.
Or if you didn't write it or record it in my language, it don't exist.
Oh man,
Let's go here. How many versions of the Bible exist today?
Ooh. Oh Lord have mercy.
I already played the point, so we already in deep water. So
yes.
But this is why we have a wide.
I'm asking a legit question. How many?
You could. I don't know. Somebody's writing a version right now.
A million?
Like
That's
5,000. I think it's over 5,000.
Okay. Next question. How many versions of Christianity exist today?
As many as the Bible.
Good answer there, bro, Kevin.
As many as the Bibles, because what you're really looking at, whether it's Christianity or Judaism or whichever sect you want to follow, more people are trying to write it in a way that they think you'll understand them. Like you said before, Cuddy, if I take your idea and I further it, then I'm getting some credit for whatever it was you initially thought of, but I made
The revised version.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I really appreciate you brothers having this conversation with us, and there's no hostility. This is a beautiful thing.
oh, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
no.
Because
me
I'm
and Ephraim was
mad at
having
you right now. No, I'm playing.
Me and Ephraim was having a conversation earlier today, and we were talking about all the hostility that you get when you try to have this conversation with our people.
Mhm.
Because they feel like you're offending them.
Right.
But it's not even offending. We just want to have a dialogue so we can learn more. And I don't think they look at it like that. They look at it like, oh, well, you saying my grandma didn't know what the hell she talking about. And then it pop off and it just goes straight to the left.
Right.
And me and Everett was talking about how you lose friends. You lose friends when you start talking about religion. And then you start telling people, hey, I don't know, you start telling people, hey, start asking questions about their religion and why they believe what they believe. And then people start getting really offended. And then now your friendship is severed because of simple questions.
Right.
Mm.
But
Facts.
I think.
Go
Go ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead.
what I was going
I-
to say is just about
Go ahead.
every religion,
Hold
it
on,
kind
Kevin.
of
I'm gonna let you go
requires
first.
you
Mhm.
to understand it enough to explain it to somebody else. So those people that you speak to and the ones that I've spoken to who get upset because you question them, the real problem is they can't articulate what they know or what they believe. So if you ask me about, rocket science, well, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I do understand that, they do launch, they do go out into the atmosphere, but I can't explain it to you. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get offended because I'm assuming that you think I'm stupid because I can't tell you about rocket science.
That boy good. That boy good right there. That boy good. That boy good.
Good explanation, huh?
But the thing of it is I'm not asking you to be that person who's explaining your deity. I'm just asking you what you believe and explain me, what it is you believe and why you believe it. Matter of fact, once you explain it to me, it's really up to me to believe what you believe or just think that it's another thing in the wind.
No,
Hey,
exactly.
Kev, you make that sound so simple, but it ain't.
Yeah. I think it speaks. Oh, I'm sorry, Cutter. Go ahead, bro.
Now,
No,
Kevin,
Keep
what
going.
you was touching on is actually the same thing I was kind of about to say, but I was gonna go into the aspect of tradition because you have to bring that into play. Us, especially our people, the main reason why we practice the type of religions that we practice is because in our families that we grew up in, traditionally, this is correct. This is what we know. This is what we've been doing for the majority of our lives. So for you or a stranger to come in and question that, I'll take offense to that because this is a part of my culture. How are you going to come in and question what I have been born and raised to believe? Who are you? That's why people get offended because culturally, this is all they know. They don't know anything else.
Right.
They have yet to question themselves. What is this possible that this is this possible that this could be or could be not true or wait nah man, I don't want to believe that nah because and then when you come in and you question that you really pushing buttons. You pushing some buttons. That's why this is such a sensitive subject because, like I said before, traditionally this is all that person may know, and you coming to shake that pole, best believe some tree branches gonna fall down. You know what I'm saying? Like best believe some things are gonna fall down that you don't want. You shaking a tree pretty hard.
That's a great point, Cutter. Great point.
So you so So I'm gonna kind of close this up on this segment because we're gonna move on to the next one, which is a topic that Cutter had put out in Facebook. I think it was a week or two ago, and basically it'll go into what Gillum had jumped on a little earlier.
Hey, Cutter, you a troublemaker.
And we got a lot of great feedback because that's the one when Cutter put it out. The topic itself, we already knew it was touching on rough waters, and the whole goal is we're trying to have positive dialogue that we can stoke people to start speaking about this, because like I said, it's one of those taboo subjects most of the time, and usually ends up in terror. So when he put that one out, I was like, oh, let's see how this one is going to play out. And when I read it, I saw the comments, I was like, damn, this is good. I mean, everybody was just, they're speaking their perspective, and it was a really good range of dialogue on there. I said that is going to be a good topic. We're going to put that on the show, and so that one was, I'll post that one so you can know what it is, and then we can go from there. So the question was, do you ever question your religious beliefs? And the second part was, do you feel that there's a possibility that we've all been lied to about who God is? So I guess we can start with we're gonna start with Cutter since he put it out. Cutter, what made you do this?
This was actually
because he liked to start trouble.
No, because these are questions. I mean, if y'all haven't noticed, like Orlando said, a lot of things have come to the forefront since this pandemic has started. A lot of people, have broken up. A lot of people found out the truth about a lot of things in their lives. A lot of people begin to question a lot of things. But why? Because we've had time to actually focus in. We had time to sit our asses down and, look at things that we probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to look at because we were constantly working, constantly grinding, constantly, having the kids and this and that. Our everyday lives were put on hold, and a lot of people were actually able to sit their ass down and, look at things that they were probably looking over for years. So I felt like this was the correct time for this question. A lot of people have questioned their religious beliefs, but are they going to put it on social media? Nah, not really, because then they have other people on looking on their pages, church members, choir people, people that they, co-workers, friends. Girl, did you see what Shonda posted? Talking about questioning her religious beliefs. What's she going through? People don't want to talk about this publicly. Mm-hmm. They still go to church every Sunday. You know what I mean? They still a part of programs at church and things of the sort. You have ministers who still question their beliefs and whether or not they've been lied to about who God actually is. A lot of these things have come to the forefront. So I felt like this was the perfect time for this question to be answered. To be asked. So I just put it out there, man, and like he said, a lot of people chimed in. I wish we had more of a voice for more people to chime in, but I think we got a good response from it online. But I'm gonna leave it up to y'all, man. What do y'all think?
So I guess we'll start with one of the bros that's visiting. Phil, what you got?
Well, I want to start off by let's saying, let's be honest, man. Let's not beat up on generations past, bro. 1965 was not that far away, and right. Slavery wasn't that far before that. And so when we start talking about theology, and not only the study of God, but is how you experience God. Our experience of God is different for our great grandmothers as it is for us. And in this generation, some of our great grandmothers are still living And so I'm saying that to say, because personally, my great grandmother's still living. She's 107, and how she experiences God and what she had to go through is completely different than how I experience God. It doesn't make like what she tells me a lie, because it's not my experience. It just makes it different, and I need to embrace kind of what Brother Kevin said as far as your self-will piece. I need to embrace how my journey in life is, and accept how I experience God to be how I experience God, and not necessarily be angry or hold on to the thought, well, it's got to be that God that freed the slaves. My experience might not be that, and so as far as saying something, breaking it down to as simple as do we test and challenge our religious beliefs? We're taught in behavior science, we're taught that you're constantly supposed to do this thing called action, reflection, action. If you're in the Christian thing, it's called try the spirit by the spirit. It's called challenge every day. It's in Islam it's called something else. In Hindu it's called something else. But at the end of the day, we're constantly reflecting and analyzing how the things that we're doing to keep us in a central, neutral place is operating. And if it's not working, we need to see if we're brave enough, or if we have enough self-will to say, that's not working, I'm not doing it anymore.
Say, Gillum, I know you had something on this a little earlier.
I'm sorry.
And Phil broke that thing down nice and smooth as he always does. Gillum, what you got?
Okay, so historically, I grew up in the church. So my mother went to church. I went to Bible study, whatever, vacation Bible school. But me as a person, I never really thought that this stuff was legit. I was always out the box when I was growing up, so I thought there was something wrong with me. But as I got a little bit older and I started researching, I started looking into it, and I was like, okay, what is really tangible for me? This is an I statement. I'm not trying to fit anybody's religion or nothing like that. Let's have that right now. So as I thought about how they presented the Bible to me, I was thinking to myself that if everybody don't believe Christianity, they going to hell. So my thoughts process was, what about the people in the jungle that never ever experienced anybody coming to them and speaking to them about Jesus? They go to hell too? They know nothing about it. What about the people in North Korea? All they believe is Hinduism, and nobody ever been there to teach them God, to teach them Jesus. They go to hell too? Like, God dang, how unfair is that? So that was my thought process. Like, Christianity ain't fair. Like, should it be fair? I don't know. That's not my job. But for me, as I started looking into Christianity and how it developed and how it was used to control people and control slaves and control people to keep an order in society. So for me, and my I statement is like, I just don't see a dude walking on water, because historically, if a dude walked on water, a dude can walk on water again. If a dude take a stick and raise it up and split a sea, I've been to some seas, and the sea is big as hell. He split a sea and we walked on dry land. Come on, man. Just in my mind, I'm thinking this just can't be real, because it's not tangible for me. What I mean by tangible is I need to smell it, I need to taste it, I need to touch it, and I need to see it. I just don't know. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. I just don't know. So as I look at religion, I look at it as like, is it Disneyland or is it reality? So it all depends on your belief system and what you believe, because God to me is not God to someone else that believes it. That's all I'm saying.
Damn, Gillum stirring that pot. It's a mouthful in there, because you touched on a lot on there that I'm sure many folk probably would be cursing you out. Be ready to cut you off, because that I would consider what you just explained is definitely where I know I definitely have. I'm on that side, way on that side. So I understand that the questioning thing. But I guess the hard part is once you get to that point in any kind of conversation, I think you start scaring the shit out of people, because you do have to ask that question if you want to start, I guess, finding out the foundation of your faith. If you start asking those questions, you do have to wrestle with that. Do you accept that or do you not?
But you know what? We have been taught that we should not question God. So my thoughts is, if I can't ask you questions, how can I find out the answers?
Well,
Kevin, what you got?
I truly believe that, and I've heard that too all my life. You shouldn't question from my grandmother, my father. You know, I've heard that. But my reaction to that has always been, you just told me he knows all. If I can't question the one who knows all, whom should I question?
So that's what I'm saying.
But in thinking of that also, the question really was, you know, do you question your religious beliefs? Honestly, I've come to believe that you question everything about everything. You keep learning and you keep researching and you keep trying to get an understanding about everything. Either it's the chair you're sitting on, it's the God you're praying to, it's your spouse or your significant other. Do they really, you know, feel the same way you do? But you question these things to learn more about it. You don't necessarily question them to destroy them, you know? Even when you found out, if anybody ever told you something crazy like Santa Claus, but when you found out who Santa Claus actually was, how that fairy tale came about, it was a learning experience, you know? And, you know, we laugh now because we're adults. But in not questioning your religious beliefs, you're not really being true to yourself, because not one person on this panel is going to tell me that there hasn't been a time that you didn't, you know, question whether that chair that you had to repair was going to hold you, that car that was repaired by somebody else is fixed right. You know, there's so many things that happen in your life that you had to question. So to tell me or anybody else that you didn't question your belief, it's not, you know, that's just not true. And then
Kevin, I like you, dog. You good, boy. You good. I like how you think. Because the reason I say that is this. Because I'd had conversations with Christians and saying, hey, tell me why you believe this. Then they get offended and the conversation just goes left. Right. I just want to know why you believe it, because you might help me.
Exactly.
That's all. You know, well, you don't know what God has done for me. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you the damn question.
This is true. This is true. This, you know, I mean, what we need to do, honestly, is get to a point where we really can talk to different people of different affiliations, honestly, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I was thinking of something else that Ephraim had said when we started this, and it was that the fact it was written that we hold these truths to be self-evident. All right, a belief, and I keep going back to that simply because in my learning of these men who started this country, they didn't really like each other. They didn't believe.
That's a whole other subject, Kevin.
No, it's the same subject.
It is the same subject.
You know what brought them together to come up with this idea was money. They figured as long as they could hang out with each other, they could make money with each other. And the same thing has happened throughout the years with our different beliefs in religion, is that, I mean, let's be honest, you're not making a mega church with people only making $200-300 a week. You're not building a synagogue that holds 2,000 to 3,000 people if somebody doesn't have the funds to keep it going. And what the forefathers did that, you know, we more learn about with the cotton, the corn, the rice, the
Cash
slave,
cow.
all of that was money. It was money.
Mhm.
And that's what tied them into saying, okay, I don't necessarily want to believe the Church of North Carolina because I live in New York. But at the same time, I know that one person in North Carolina that's making the indigo is making me money when I send fabric his way.
Woo,
So
man,
I
Kevin, you
believe
started
him.
something right here.
Or at
Kevin.
least I'm going to listen to him. And what we've done, and it's been pointed out a couple times, what we've done is we've taken it to heart to say, I believe this because mama told me, grandma told me, you know, I was brought up. Okay, that's all well and good. But in reality, can I honestly tell you my testimony to a point where you understand that this is why I believe it, and this is what's brought me this far and made me believe in myself?
Okay, Kev, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, why is it when we do something great in our lives that we said God has put us in this position, and then we have some things bad happen in our lives, we say it's us who messed up? I just want to know.
Okay, I give it to you like this. Again, we've been indoctrinated, we've been taught, we've been shown that God is good. Hands down. He does nothing wrong, hands down. But we are the weak link in that chain. So that's why I put God up, and when it's wrong, I put Kevin down. But in reality, as we learn that his spirit is within us. Those of us who believe his spirit is within us. So no matter what happens, the highs and lows, it's still me doing what I need to do with the presence of God in me. If I fail, it ain't like he got off the boat. I failed. If I succeed, it's not that he, again, got up and raised me up. It was, I did what I needed to get to that point. So again, it's people who don't know how to understand their feelings who are coming back at us. Because believe me, I've been in the same position that you are, or at least a similar one, with a minister whom I grew up with. To a point of it just got to the point of I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what you got to say. It's just, but, you know, so I understand that. But steadily going and trying to grow and asking questions, because I'm sorry, I can't understand, as you put it, why would I not ask God questions? And going back to what Phil had said, you know, that generation taught you that basically to get you to understand he's a higher power. But what they didn't tell you is, I can't answer your question. Don't question me. So therefore, don't question God. That's what I got out of that.
Wow. I told E today, I said, E, I look at it like this. I go to the gym, I work out, I lose 20 pounds, I work out. So you telling me God had something to do with that? Or was it me? So then it goes back to, okay, I'm eating myself to death. So now it's my fault again?
I think it's, from what I gather, you know, again, I appreciate the dialogue, man, because I'm just listening, taking it all in. And man, I definitely appreciate it. And I'm sure many of the other people that are viewing it, they're enjoying it too. I'm reading some of the comments too. I can't get to all of them, but we'll try to touch on a few before we close out tonight.
Hey, Professor, explain to what you remember we talking earlier. Mm-hmm. Do that analogy that you explained to me about the bar. Please do that. That's beautiful.
Oh, well, it was simple. I was just saying that with religion, as far as a supreme deity or supreme deities, depends on what your religion is. It could always be multiple, but I was saying the whole point is to place the deity above you as a fixed limiter and threshold. That means where you go up, it goes up. When you go down, it goes down. When you go left, it goes left. When you go right, it goes right. Back, forth, same thing. So no matter what in the rule book of this doctrine, can this deity move? It always has to stay there. That's the point. It cannot move, because if it moves, then the whole system fails. This has to be the sovereign in the whole thing. It has to be, because if this moves or changes in the doctrine, then the whole thing falls apart. So that's what I thought about with the bar. It has to stay there. It can't be flawed. You cannot. You have to take the hit, and and I'm thinking not even in religion. I'm thinking politics, because first thing that comes to my mind is the government we live under. It will never be the United States fault. It can't be the U.S. fault. It has to be us, the people. We're the problem, not the government. Is that true in reality? It don't matter, because it has to be believed. It has to be believed. You can't take it away, because otherwise, then the whole system is going to be looked at as under scrutiny. Even though you don't have to believe that, we can all simply say, "Hey, no, the system is warped, is broken." But the people that are in power, the people that are at the right table, because we ain't at the right table for that. If we were sitting at the right table, we would not be able to say that. It's not allowed. But go ahead. I'm sure y'all got some statements on that one as well.
Well, just like you said with the United States government, the reason why it's always going to be blamed on the people is because the people vote the politicians in. Like, that's why the voting process was, to me, that's why it was brought forth, because they had to have a blame. They had to have a fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even
like
though the president or the governor or the mayor, whoever that is, messes up, even they themselves have a fall guy, and it's the people. Well, y'all voted me in. I told y'all what I was gonna do.
It's like, gotta have that. That's a good way of putting it.
So who's really to blame?
You to blame. The people to blame.
Exactly. You voted them in.
Wow, that's pretty much a good way of putting it. Phil, what you got on that?
Man, I think that I believe some of everything with that I've heard, man. The thing about belief, especially when you start talking about concepts, whether you're talking about America or whether you're talking about God, it has to be done from a perspective of too big to fail, right? And so,
I like that.
So, God is put in a position of being omnipresent, omniscient. You know what I'm saying? So when we do that, there is no way. I know I love that example that he used about the bar, because the thing is that God is omni. He is the entire thing. He's not only the light at the end of the tunnel, but he's the tunnel. So not only that, he's the one that causes the circumstances for you to be put in the tunnel. So that same situation is the same thing about even in America, part of being home of the free, land of all of that, land of the thief, home of the slave, however you want to look at it. It has to be done in a way to where we feel that what we believe in is so strong, that it will not fall, even if that means believing in something that is like Art said, isn't necessarily tangible. You know what I'm saying? And so which dives deeper into that subcategory of belief being faith, right? So that's I'm sure that's a segment as well. But when we start talking about those things, man, if you're saying that you believe in anything, whether it's America, whether it's your job, whether it's your whatever you believe greater to be, and you have not challenged that, I would question if you believe anything. Because
That's good, Phil. That's
the
good.
point of having a testimony is not always, I was on one Tuesday on the moaning bench. That's not always your testimony. Is having that day of awakening, of realizing, oh, that's how this works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so in understanding that, that's what that's my 2 cents on top of everything else that I've heard, man. I think it's great. And I think, and as much as I appreciate us addressing the fact that we get in these positions of challenging what we believe, it speaks even more so to the America we live in, because what other society can you live in, receive everything from, yet question it? And so it's a no lose situation.
Hey man, this show is good. God dang, I love it. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. I promise. It's so refreshing. Yes.
Say, man, well, we I guess we'll jump on some of the comments, because I did see a lot of them in there, and I guess we can jump on the last one I went through. Let me go back through there. We'll go to Tuck, because Tuck had
he has some awesome comments, bro.
So one of them, he says, belief is the tool used by the imagination to create in the physical plane. Unfortunately, most know not how to use it. And says, peace to the gods. So any comments on Tuck's comment?
He hit the nail. He hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah. Because the thing is, when you take belief and you really believe it, you think it's reality. So it's not necessarily reality; it's just what you believe. So it becomes your truth. Right. So your truth is your truth at the end of the day. It's not my truth, but it's your truth. So, it's something that's really, 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 it's a catch-22 at the end of the day, because your truth could be Disneyland, or it could be reality to you at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I view. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Fuck it. That's what I view belief is. I don't think I've used we in Orlando, we've talked about this before.
Yes.
I don't think I've used the mirror window theory before on the show, but for our viewers, I'll go ahead and use it. There's two places. There's the mirror and there's the window. Now the mirror is reality. That's the truth of who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
The window is what you believe, or what you want people to believe, who you want people to believe that you are.
Yes.
That's the window.
Preach on.
So people daily, they have a choice on where they want to live, whether they want to live in that truth in the mirror, or they want to live out the window. And majority of what I believe is society lives outside the window, because nobody wants to face the truth. Everybody wants to look out the window because that's who they've created. This is the person they created for society to view them as.
Man, Cutter,
this is what I personally.
You speaking right now, Cutter. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Shit.
Because he messed me up. Shut up, man. This is who society. This is who they created for society to view them as.
Smoke
now, in certain instances, people do get frustrated with themselves and they end up smashing the window. They smash both. They either smash the mirror and constantly live outside the window, or they smash the window and they become a realist and they live in only reality, which means that they're outcasted through the window. Nobody outside that window recognizes who they are. They think they're a weirdo. They call them weirdos. Oh, this dude crazy, man. He done went crazy, man. He on this real stuff, and everything is this, everything is that. Woo, woo, woo. So it's a catch-22, as Orlando said. You could either live outside the window or you can live inside the mirror, but you can't do both. Those who do both, those are the most fraudulent MFers on planet Earth, because they have to act daily. They have to put on the front. They have to put on the, as Smokey Robinson say, the clown mask. But outside, they smiling and they giggling, and they got the big horn nose and the big boots, and they performing outside the window, but in the mirror they cry. That's what I believe that Smokey meant, the tears of a clown, because in the mirror they're not happy with who they truly are outside the window, because they know that's not reality. They know it's not the truth of who they are. But yeah, that's my theory about the window and the mirror.
Man, Cutter, let me tell you, man. You know what I thought about when you said that? When is the last time you seen a happy comedian?
Man, bruh.
So comedians used to tell jokes in a way that knock knock, who's there, slapstick, different things like that. But then when Richard Pryor came, he began to speak of his reality, and we laughed because of his delivery. But man, if you really just put these headphones and listen to him, you'll cry, bro, because he's really telling you some sad stories. You know what I mean? And the thing is that if we can get past, like you said, the scope of what we've seen somebody as, we see him as a comedian first instead of an actual person. So whenever he opens his mouth, no matter if he's telling us what happened to him while he was walking down the street, or what happened when the house blew up and caught on fire, it's gonna be funny first before we think about him as a person. And that happens to us as we approach individuals. If I see you, you know what I mean, with your cowboy jersey on, you know what I mean, I'm gonna initially assume that you're a Cowboy fan. I'm not gonna think that you just like the color blue. So when I talk to you, I'm gonna address you with a joke that's criticizing your team, as opposed to say, man, why did you wear that shirt? You know what I mean? And so I think what you say is a great opener for us to do some self-evaluation, man, and be honest with ourselves. So then we can be real friends to each other, because if we can be honest with ourselves, then we don't have a problem being real to each other.
Right.
You feel? I love you, dog. I just want to say that. That's good stuff, Phil.
To touch on what Phil said about the Cowboys jersey, I wouldn't ask them why they would wear that jersey. I would ask them, why the hell would they want to wear a jersey like that?
So let me tell y'all something. So I'm gonna say this, and this would get I'm talking about the viewer ratings is gonna be crazy, because this is beautiful conversation. But if you put down in the chat, if people can guess which number 21 jersey Gillum is wearing, you know what I'm saying? That will make great conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
That's the number 10.
Yeah. So because you go into belief, right? Because teams believe that you've done so great on that team that they retire your jersey, but that team doesn't believe anybody does anything great enough to have their number retired. And so that's
hey,
that's
fellas,
another
this is a great conversation, man. I really appreciate this. Y'all don't understand. Y'all have enlightened my life. I really appreciate it.
So real quick before we close out, I'll go through some of the other comments, and then we'll close up shop. So this is from some of the comments from last week when we did the Facebook post. So this one was, I guess we start with Carlos, Big Skinny Huey. And remember, the question was, just to repost it, it was, do you ever question your religious beliefs? And then the other part was, do you feel that there's a possibility that we've all been lied to about who God is? In response, some of these comments, Carlos said, definitely questioned the religious beliefs since I was younger, and am most certain we were all lied to about who God is, which is my argument as to why it's imperative for us to all seek that relationship intimately and fervently for ourselves.
That's deep. I like his.
Sounds like decisions of silence to me.
Are you missing this? The music background, huh?
That's it.
Damon Webb said, no, I don't question my religious beliefs. Yes, it's possible and fact that at some point someone lied to you about who God is because they misrepresented who God is by their own actions.
Well,
So
you know what?
It's
And
your fault.
that's Reverend Damon Webb.
I'm sorry, that's Reverend.
So-
Okay.
So my thoughts is this. That comment is this. If you don't ever question anybody something that say to you, you'll fall for anything. I can tell you I got a bridge in Arizona I want to sell you. You know, with a body of water.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to question a lot of things to get the right answer at the end of the day. You can't say, "Oh, I just believe," because now you blindly believe in anything anybody say to you. That's crazy. That's insane. That's insanity.
That's called faith.
That's called bullshit. You took, that's bullshit. Like, how can you say, "Oh, I don't question anything"? Get the hell out of here. I know damn well that you question. I question what my mama told me 5 years ago, and I still be thinking about it. She passed away 5 years ago. Like, there's no way in the world you cannot question what people say to you and believe it wholeheartedly. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you lied to yourself and you lied to me too.
Well, I think the key, and also like we said earlier, with that, is that we have to take in the context, the perspective they're coming from, and their experience. You know, yeah, trends regurgitate themselves, right? If you hold on to your polka dot shirt long enough, it's gonna come back. But you're not gonna wear the polka dot shirt from 1988. You're gonna buy the polka dot shirt from the '88 style that was made in 2022.
No, I'm
So
wearing what I got because I ain't buying a new one.
it's not gonna fit, Art.
It ain't gonna fit.
It is. Hey,
That's what I'm
lost
saying.
30 pounds. I look
That's a good
good.
one.
Right, so but I understand. Right, we're going. So that even speaks to that. We're going to wear this shirt. You know what I'm saying? And what we're saying is, at what point are you gonna get rid of the shirt? You gonna hoard? You know what I'm saying? All that old stuff, or are you going to examine yourself, trim the fat, and take what you need to keep moving forward, bro?
I got that
You know?
Kwame shirt in my closet right now. What you talking about?
All right, and I got that Biggie song that knocked it out the box.
So we're gonna go to another comment. We gonna move on. Another comment from last week. Boy,
Y'all crazy, man.
So this one was, let's see, Chris, we know your perspective, so I'm gonna skip over that. We say Stacy Livingston, she said, do you ever question who your mother is, or do we rely on the physical appearance of that person who is providing and nurturing us? We don't even know if that individual is our mother. Same conceptualization.
No, it's not the same. Because I can look at the birth certificate and they tell me who my mama is. Stop that. That's bullshit. Stop it. I can pull my birth certificate right now and it say Clara May Gillum on it.
Yeah, I mean, so let me read what she said just to, I guess, make sure I give her her full statement. She said prior to that, religion is a perception of one's belief in a higher supreme being. God is the concrete realm of theories, ideology, science, and medicine. It is an abstraction of revolutionary thinking. What we as humans associate with religion is based upon heredity. I didn't get a chance to get the rest of that, but yep. Your thoughts?
I wonder
My
why she
thought is
copied
that she
and
never
pasted
think
that.
outside the box. She's
What do you
stuck
say?
in
Who copy and
goddamn-
paste?
She's stuck in the box. She don't question nothing. She a sheep. I'm a goat. There's a difference between sheep and goats. So sheeps just go bad. Goats buck into the system.
They
That's
gonna
how
buck. Goats are violent. They'll bite the shit out of you.
Good. Gee.
Yeah. She a goddamn sheep. Sheep is stupid as shit. That's what the reality of. A sheep will drown his goddamn self in water dripping his nose and won't even turn his face. I know. I was in FFA and I raised sheep. And they some dumbass animals. So if you want to be a dumbass animal, you go ahead. I'm
Well,
gonna question everything.
but we don't want to call our guests sheep and dumbass animals. That was a analogy. So please don't think that's
Okay, I apologize. But she's still a sheep. Okay.
And I don't think she was that far out of the box in her comment about the whole do we believe the mother piece just because the birth. I think that actually had the potential to be pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
How is that, Phil? Phil, you can go right now and go down to the county office of Houston, and you know who your mama is. You look just like her.
I mean, I'm not questioning who my mother is, but what I'm saying is
Of
that if
course
I'm
you're not.
relying on that paper, on that, I'm just saying anybody can sign a birth certificate. I mean, we're not talking about anything else, but we're talking about everything else, right? So you.
Hey, Phil, you stop trying to protect the Phil.
No, I'm not protecting. I'm just saying that it's not either or, it's both and. What I'm saying is that when she talks about that, you know, it's really a deep piece in its core form, bro. Like, you know, it almost speaks to the Matrix. Like, is that your mother, or was it just made so much to be your mother that you didn't question it? I mean, I get it, but the thing is, it was worth conversation. I'm not saying I agree or disagree
So Phil,
with
you
what she
question
said.
your mama is?
I've never questioned who my mother is.
Yeah, you know why? Because your mama looks just like you. And you look just like your mama. And the birth certificate says that it's your mama. She had you. And you seen pictures of your mama being pregnant with you. Then you see pictures of your mama having you and holding you as a youth.
Evidently, you don't watch Lifetime movies.
Hey,
Evidently.
Let me say something just to get away from that. But you know, listening to you guys and also the comments, one of the things I definitely realize is a lot of times when we're explaining something, right, whether it's a belief we hold dearly or it's a belief that we're trying to understand, sometimes we find ourselves being talked to by probably the smartest fifth grader explaining it to us.
Come on, man, talk.
But the problem is, if you don't continue to look and ask questions, you never get to the part where you're talking to the professor. You're just talking to the rest of the fifth graders, or maybe you luck up and you talk to a 10th grader, you know. But what you really need to do is take it as far as you can and understand what your belief is, even if it's your belief that you took the blue pill and you can fly. Okay, take it as far as you can. I'm not advocating anybody try and jump off a building. I'm just saying, take it as far as you can to understand what it is that you believe in.
say, Kevin, you ever question who your mama is?
You know what? I've said that to her just to get a response, but no.
Exactly. Because you know why? Your birth certificate say her name on it.
That may be our experience, but everybody has a different experience, bro. That's what we have in a conversation.
I agree with you. But I ain't never questioned
What
the birth certificate.
What I've learned
It's
to
factual
do
information.
in my
Now you're terrible. Stop
What you got? Wait, what you got, Cutter? I'm curious.
in my spiritual journey, I became extremely bitter at the beginning because I felt I was lied to, and I denounced everything, every part of whatever I was taught. But in maturity, what I've learned to do is create that live and let live attitude or mindset, because I personally understand that people need to believe something or believe in something.
Yes.
Some people can't do without believing in something. They can't live without that. And for me to encourage somebody to be where I am mentally is arrogant. So if as long as your religion ain't about molesting kids and killing people and harming people and doing all that stuff, hey man, live your life. Believe who you want to believe in. I don't care if you believe in the Rock and you
believe in Easter
worship
Bunny
that
too?
Rock every day. I don't. It ain't my concern whether they not believe in, because I believe in the 11th commandment. Thou shalt keep thy religion to thyself.
That's like believing in the Easter Bunny. Stop it.
No, I'm saying I don't personally believe in the Easter Bunny. Now, if they believe in the Easter Bunny, that's on them. I
So
don't
you
care
believe
if
the
they
Easter
do or
Bunny
not.
make eggs?
Nah, I don't believe in it.
You
I
know
don't
that
believe
rabbits
in it.
Hey,
don't
hey,
create eggs.
Cutter, I don't know about that one. I don't know
Go
if
ahead.
I would stand on the 11th commandment that you have, because I want to know what people believe, because I
I
don't
agree.
want you to hide it and then do something without me knowing why you doing it. Because you got people that will be elected into certain offices in government and these higher positions, and then they have these beliefs, white supremacy. These
Did you say the vice president?
No,
that
no,
ain't
no,
what
no,
I
no, no,
said.
no. That's not what he said.
Oh, okay.
They have these beliefs that they hold near and dear to their hearts about, who they are and their positions in life. Um, I want to know what you think and what you believe, so I can understand if it impacts me in a negative fashion. I want to be prepared. I want to at least get a fighting chance, because at least I know what you're about, why you're doing it, versus you telling me a lie and then doing something else. That's why I
Well,
say
Professor,
I want to know your
Oh,
beliefs.
so you want them to call you a nigga to your face.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of hiding it and saying that, hey,
Bro, Kevin say, let me get up.
hey, Professor,
Tell me to my
Professor,
face,
you ain't gonna
man.
get that. They gonna hide that.
You're
They'll
not
call you
gonna
nigga
get
behind
it.
your back at least 5 times.
Yeah, but that's what I thought of, because I want to know what you think, what you believe, what you hold near and dear, so we can at least know what you stand for.
That ain't
versus
happening,
you
Professor.
lying
It
to
sounds good. I like it.
us.
I
It
mean,
sounds good, but that shit ain't happening.
I personally agree with that. I agree, but me being realistic, knowing that the the damn, I want to say, yeah, I'm gonna say that the nature of some people is to conceal their sins. Their hidden agendas are hidden agendas for a reason, because they don't want you to know what they're gonna do to you. For them to let you know would defeat the purpose of them doing what they're gonna do, because then you develop a defense for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
And-
then they not. That's why I say religion itself, depending on whatever it is, whatever you choose to believe in, is your business. Now, if it's up to me as an individual to be prepared for anything, because this is the world we live in. I don't know what anybody got planned for me. So at this point, I have to be prepared for the worst. And it's
Yeah, they
sad,
got past.
it's sad
They
that
got
we
past
have
when
to
you go
do
to
that.
slavery.
It's sad that we even have to do that. But in our defense, I don't put nothing past nobody.
Mm.
I don't care what religion you practice.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
the people that killed Malcolm X, what religion they practice? The
Kill a
same
nigga.
religion as him?
Yeah, you stirring that damn pot, boy.
I'm
That
gonna
was
say it.
you already know that was so touchy.
Yeah, that's kill a nigga. That's what that was.
So, quick question. Well, I got another comment. Somebody that recently posted. I thought it was funny. It says, I literally know of a situation right now of a father who is trying to figure out the right time to tell the daughter that he's been raising that he's not her actual father. So, yes, the scenario that the viewer stated does happen.
Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he's a real father or not. It's about the position that he's in, that he's her father, that she knows of. That's all that really matters. It doesn't matter about biological things, because as a father, that you treat kids the way they should be treated. I know that because I have 2 adopted daughters. So it doesn't matter about you being their real father. It's about the position that you take, about taking care of them as their father.
Right. And I feel you on that. Or I think what the comment is saying is that he's trying to pick a time to tell the truth of the young lady's origin. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's unearthing the truth. So like you said, I definitely agree. You know, we've all like I say, the blended family thing has been a blessing to me. You know what I'm saying? So in that instance, but the time for, you know, to unearth something like that can be ground shaking, man. You know what I mean? So yeah. So,
Well, that's a good question. That's a good
the thing is,
question.
I don't think it is necessary to unearth it, because her reality is that you her father. It doesn't matter if you're not her father or not.
So you rather her to believe that he's the father, because we're right at that's where we're at. Do you want to stick with the belief, or do you want to unearth the truth?
So what I'm saying is, for her, for whoever it is, it doesn't matter about if I'm her father biological. I'm her father right now in this present situation.
it doesn't matter to
I'm taking
you.
care of you like you my child.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm your father for real or not. The biological thing
But
doesn't even matter. I'm acting
but-
as your father.
But that's Orlando. That's your belief system.
I agree. I totally agree. You could tell her,
disagree.
guess what? Like you can tell her I'm not your father, but in her eyes, you are her father. It doesn't matter about the biological situation.
No, but I disagree, because it does matter about the biological situation. Because once her real father, her biological father, comes around and wants to tell her, "Here, I am your real biological father. I impregnated your mother, and we had you." Whether or not now, whatever happened in between her birth and then her meeting you and you assuming that position as her father does not in reality make you her father. That's
in her
your
eyes,
belief.
you are her father. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Until I come around. Okay, so for instance, you married my baby mama. Hypothetically, you married my baby mama. I never saw my daughter a day in my life, right? At what age do you, regardless of that, you were in my daughter's life from age 2 to whatever. Once she finds out that you are not her biological father, do you think or do you believe that she's gonna X me out of her life forever? Like she's not gonna ever want me to exist at all?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the situation. So me, I have 3 sons.
Right.
And 2 daughters that I adopted. So my ex-wife has not been in my son's life forever. But however, my wife now has been in their life forever. In their mind, they don't give a damn about their biological mother because of who my wife is now to them. That's their mother. They look at their mother as an egg donor. So it does not matter about the biological situation. It all about evaluates about the position that you took in their lives.
I think that's what you're saying. I hear. Hold on one sec, Cutter. Let me just say this little piece. The key part you said is that they know who their biological mother is and was able to make a rational decision based off that. Now, I'm not saying it, but what we're saying in this scenario, coming from the writer here, is saying the daughter has no idea that another man could be her father, and so that's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, and I catch your energy on it, but it's a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different because at the end of the day,
But at the end of the day,
you're saying that you this is you talking,
yes,
that you saying that it doesn't matter to them, but in their lives at some point they may or may not want to have a relationship with their biological mother.
and that's their
I'm
business.
not saying, hold on, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's their belief. Their belief is their own, not yours.
I agree. So, okay, yes.
Somebody feedback.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, go ahead, Leno.
Oh, so I agree with that. So yeah, tell her that you're not her biological father.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, all the things that you have done for her, it won't matter to them at the end of the day, because you have been in their lives through the good, the bad, the indifferent, all that at all. You have been there as their father. So they're gonna look at you as their father. They don't give a damn about the biological because they never been there.
This is a big topic, the whole belief, and then touching on the religious doctrine. And you see, it took us damn near 2 hours just to try to unravel this thing. So we're going to definitely have some more episodes, bringing some more guests on. We're going to try to bring back Kevin and Phil on some other topics. So we appreciate our
fellas,
guests
y'all did a
coming
great
in,
job.
giving some hands. Appreciate you guys coming in.
appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you, bro. We
I
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it, man. It's been an
Sorry about-
interesting, fun topic. Concrete Reality TV, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We on
Please.
YouTube, we on Facebook, as you can see, IG, we on there, and TikTok. Please join us next time, and y'all have a good evening.